That's interesting. Yeah, so we're gonna start at 4. How's everyone? How are you doing with the remote learning? Am I muted?
You're not muted. Come on, guys.
Okay.
How's it going?
Can you hear me?
Okay. Okay. It's going okay.
Okay. Thank goodness. So today, yeah, we have some people coming. Today we're going to talk about polling and Zoom breakout, and I'd like to start first with polling because you know, there are a lot of steps that we're going to do, and polling is a very effective way to engage students in the classroom, especially remotely. And as you know, there are lots of websites like Poll Everywhere and Mentimeter, but actually it's a very good feature on Zoom. So let me go ahead and launch this poll. So I created actually 2. So I'm going to launch it right now, just to show you an example. So please go ahead and answer the questions, just to show you how it works. Okay. I can see 3 people right now answered. We still have like 8 more. Okay, come on, people. These are just 2 questions. They're just examples for you to see how it works with your students. Okay. Okay, interesting. 1, 3. Yeah, okay. So that's 9 people answered right now. Okay, I think that's enough. So I'm gonna end the polling and I'm gonna share the results with you. So you can see that only 1 person used virtual reality and augmented reality a lot. Few people used, only 3 used it a little, and then 6, which is 60% of attendees, or didn't never use virtual reality. And then these are the responses, and we're gonna see that polling has single choice and multiple choice, and we're gonna see how it works. Okay. So I'm gonna stop sharing the results right now. I'm gonna close it, and then, so there are 3 things in order to create polls. So first we have to go to the setting, enable polling, and then create. So as you can see, I created like a step-by-step tutorial in this PowerPoint presentation. So first you go here, and I'm gonna do it also manually. So here are the settings. You click on settings, and then you scroll down until you find polling. There is also a tip that you can just press Control F, and then you type poll, and then you hit enter, sorry. And then you will find polling highlighted. So you have to enable polling in order to create the poll for your students. Okay, everything is okay so far? Okay. Then, once you enable the poll, you have to schedule a meeting, create a poll, start the meeting, and then launch the poll. It's so easy, but you have to follow these steps. So you schedule the meeting, and then once you schedule the meeting, it will show you underneath that you haven't created a poll until now. So you create the poll, and then when you start the meeting, you can launch the poll to your students. So you go to click on schedule meeting, and then this page will appear. So when you finish scheduling the meeting, you hit save, and then you will find, you will find underneath the meeting that you scheduled the word add, and then you haven't created any poll yet. Okay, so you have to click add, and then you're gonna go and add a poll. So you enter the title, and then you type the questions, and you choose either single choice, so the students can choose only one answer, or multiple choice. And actually, Zoom will make it for you. It will add the phrase multiple choices, so that the students will know that they can answer more than one alternative. Okay. Then when you start the meeting, you will see this icon, pause, here. So you click on it, and then this appears. So basically, when I clicked on it, you didn't see it, right? You didn't see it. In order for you to see it, I have to launch the polling, okay? So I have to click launch polling. So this is how it appears to you, and then you have to launch it so that the students can see it. Also, there is another thing you can edit. So let's say that there was a problem with the polling, maybe a spelling mistake or something like that. But the thing is that when you edit it, it takes you to another page, and then you start editing it, and then you go back. So it's really a hassle to do that. So you have to make sure that everything is okay before starting class, because it's going to take a lot of time. And then when I launched the poll, so here it only appears to you as a teacher, but you have to launch the polling so that it also shows on your students' end. And then when you launch the polling, this will happen. So the students will see, and you will see the percentages. Okay, as you can see here, you can see the percentages. And then you can end the polling after all the students have completed the answers. And see here, so here, I only had one. I actually did it like, I have 2 accounts, so I joined the meeting with the other account so that I can make this example. So after the students complete the poll, you can share the results. So you end the poll and then you share the results with the students, okay? And then you can also relaunch the polling. However, it will delete the answers from the previous one, okay? So you have to make sure that if you want to do this, you can do it, but you will know that it will delete all the information, all the answers in the previous one, okay? Now you share the poll results with the students. So there they see how many students answered question 1 or, or 2 or 3 and so on. So, and then you can stop sharing the results and then you can close it and then you can continue teaching. Okay, let me show you manually how we can do this. Oops. So this is Zoom. So I click settings and then I have to scroll down until I find polling. Actually, I don't do this. I just click Control and then I type poll and then I see polling and then here we go. This is, you enable it. So you click, you slide it to the right and then you click the slider to the right and then now polling is enabled. Then you go to schedule meeting. So basically because I scheduled meeting before and I have polls, so I don't need to do this, okay? So I'm gonna go ahead and schedule the meeting. So let's say it's gonna be tomorrow. And then I click save. Oh, I'm gonna. And then because I created 2 polls, so I don't, it's not gonna say you haven't created any polls yet. So I'm gonna go ahead and add one. So the title can be whatever. Who can suggest a title? Can you help me with that? Who can suggest a title?
About something for upcoming programs, another kind of webinar that you guys
Okay.
would like to see.
Yeah. So what topics are you interested in? Or something like that. Okay. And then this is going to be grammar, writing. Oops. What else? Speaking. So let's say tech tools for grammar. For speaking. Okay. And we can just add, well, like lots of, choices, vocabulary apps, augmented reality apps, and so on, okay? And then we're gonna click save. And here we have the poll here. So yeah, and these are the questions. We will get to see the poll. If we go here, of course you won't be able to see, but I can see it here. And then I will launch it. So the thing is, whenever you create a poll on Zoom, all of them are displayed in any meeting. Okay, all of them are displayed in any meeting. So basically, maybe you can name something like level A or first graders or second graders and something like that, so that because everything gets displayed, so and you don't want to be confused, so you can just like the title can remind you of which poll you created for which level or for which students you're teaching, and this would be, you know, more effective. I don't know why Zoom they don't make like they don't make those polls like related to each meeting that you create. Maybe maybe this like enabling all the polls, and then maybe you can choose one for any class that you're teaching. Maybe this is more effective. I'm not sure about that, but so I think it's better if the title would be significant to the class that you are teaching. So I'm gonna end the poll, and then I'm gonna share the results. Okay. Okay, I could also relaunch the poll, and if I relaunch the poll, let me do that. It's gonna be blank, and you have to redo it again. Okay, I just want to show you that if you relaunch the poll, it's gonna erase all the answers and it's gonna start from scratch, and you know, the students have to answer again. Okay, so I'm gonna end the polling. This was just for an example, and then I'm gonna share the results. Okay, I see different examples now. So I have 4 people choosing the vocabulary apps and tech tools, and actually the vocabulary apps is in orange, which means that those are the majority of people who chose this choice. And also you can see multiple choice, so this is like you know, signifies to the students that you can choose more than one answer or more than one alternative. Okay, so I'm gonna stop sharing the results and close it. So any questions so far?
Don't be shy, guys. You can write in the chat box if you like.
Yeah, if you have any questions. So yeah, I can see. Yeah, well, okay. So I think Christine, there is a question.
It's where is the launch button?
Launch button. Yeah. So basically, the launch button, you don't see it as an attendee. Only you as a teacher can see it. Okay. So the students, it's like Blackboard or Canvas or any other you know, application or website. You as a teacher has lots of privileges, and the students in their end, they only see specific features. So when you create and launch the polling, you will get to see it as a teacher.
But I think not. So basically, some people are still asking about where the button is for launching.
Yeah.
That might be a function of the kind of account you have.
I'm gonna show you right now where is the button. Okay. So first of all, this is the button that will appear if you want to launch or like if you want to open the polls, and then this what will happen. So you get to see this, and then you click on launch polling. So when you launch the polling, you get this page where the students see it, and they will start answering the questions, clicking on the choices, and once you make sure that everyone has participated, you end the polling, you click end the polling, and then it shows the results. Okay, you end the polling and then you share the results with the students. Does this answer your question? Okay, so I showed you while I was doing the polling. Let me show you again. What's wrong?
So there were two other questions.
Yeah.
Shall I tell you what they are, Amany? Are you ready?
Yes.
Or so
Yeah,
one
yes.
was about if you can see the individual students who are answering. So when you see that they did 1 out of 5 chose writing, can you see which participants those were?
Well, actually, I tried, but I didn't see the names of the students.
Okay, I didn't want to answer for you, but yes, that's been my experience
yeah,
too.
Yes. So you don't see, although like there was a webinar by Zoom, they say that you can track the names, but no, I didn't see any names by the students. I'm gonna go ahead and add another poll. So this is how it shows. You enter, I'm gonna just add, okay, anything. Okay, so poll title. Okay, so here is the poll title, and here is the questions. Okay, you have single choice and multiple choice. So if you chose single choice, the students have to answer only one, like give only one answer. Okay, click on one answer only. Okay, but with multiple choice, they can choose whatever they want. Okay, and you know, the idea of polling is something like, you know, there is no, the thing is, it's not like Google quizzes where they get to see the result, the grades. So it's something that you discuss with your students, and you would tell them, like, you need to know their opinion, for example, regarding something. And once they engage and click on the answers, you start giving them feedback about which was correct and which was not. Okay, this could be used as a warm-up activity. This could be used as a formative assessment, like you need to know what do they know so far about what you have introduced in class. So you know, but it's a really good thing to make students interact, especially in remote learning, and we are teaching ESL students, so we need to make sure that they are interacting and doing something, especially with polling. And another thing which is going to be the breakout rooms. So any other questions?
Christian asks, can a poll be transferred from one account to another?
I don't think so. No.
Okay, I think those were the questions. And I think from my experience too, it depends on how your school might have set up the account. I hear from high school teachers that sometimes they do not have, an administrator hasn't set them to be able to do polling. So if you don't see it in your settings, you might contact your administrator if someone else has opened the account for you. Someone's asking, what is the anonymous button?
Yeah, the anonymous button is the user information in poll report will be kept anonymous. But the thing is, I haven't tried anonymous, but I mean, even when I check the students' responses, I don't get to see the names, so I'm not sure about how it works. I haven't tried it, and I don't care whether, you know, I choose it or not. Okay, any questions so far? So I'm gonna repeat that again. Yeah, I'm gonna close this. And so I know because some people, you know, just came late. So you go to settings, and then I usually click Control F and then poll, type poll, and then it shows. So if it's slide to the slider is to the left, you click it to the right in order to enable it. And then you go up here, schedule a meeting. Okay, you make sure all the information. And then once you hit save, you go to the meeting, let's say this one. And then you start adding the poll. On your end, it will say you don't have any polls for this meeting. So you add the poll, you click add, and then you put the title, and then you put the questions, and then you choose single choice if there's only one answer, multiple choice if there is more than one answer, okay? And then you start giving the answers, and then you go down here and you hit save. You could also add another question, okay? But it will tell you, because I didn't do anything with this question, so it will tell me that this question is incomplete, and then I don't think it's gonna save my poll. I have to complete the question. So you go and add the second question, okay? And then let's edit this. Okay, I have to put, okay, I just don't wanna waste our time thinking of some questions. And then you hit save, okay? So let me try another poll with you. This one, that's very easy. So this one actually shows you the check boxes, which is for multiple choice. So I'm gonna launch it right now. You can see it, right? So what kind of remote learning tools do you use with your students? Check all that apply, and that's a multiple choice. So you can choose whatever you use with your students. It is whatever you use, not whatever you're thinking of using. Okay, Canvas, Google Classroom. Yeah, also one of the downsides of polling, but because the thing is, it's not like Google Form where you can put others, but I wish that they can do something that maybe students can share with the teacher, something like others, but it's not going to be polling, it's going to be something else. So I think maybe they can do something in terms of quizzes, something like that, where teachers can do with their students. So I think most people chose Google Classroom, Blackboard, and Canvas. Okay. Okay, I'm gonna end the polling. I think there are some questions. I'm gonna share the results. So we have 6 people who chose Google Classroom, 4 Blackboard, and 1 who uses Canvas. Okay. So this is how it works. Okay, and then of course, with ESL classes, we can do other stuff, and discuss that with the students. So I'm gonna stop sharing the results, and then I think there are some questions. So any questions so far?
It seems that Sarah has a question. Sarah, do you want to elaborate? You said I haven't used any, but can't submit that.
Yeah,
I'm sorry.
it's just that I haven't used any of those platforms, and I was unable to indicate that on the question, and so I couldn't submit it. So is that really just a function of the way that the question was worded?
No, I'm sorry, I didn't hear you. Can you just
Yeah, I haven't used any of those platforms, but I was unable to get that across to you. I couldn't submit the form with no answer.
Yeah. Okay, yeah, I think you have to answer in order to submit the form.
So in other words, it is quite limiting.
Yeah. So you couldn't now submit the answer because you didn't answer, right?
Yeah, that's right, because if there was a choice that said none, I could have selected that.
Oh,
But since I couldn't
okay,
select
okay.
any of those, there
Mm.
was no way for me to tell you that I haven't
Oh,
used any of them because submit,
oh, that's
I
an interesting
couldn't submit
question.
it.
That's a great question. Yeah, yeah, yeah,
So
of
you
course.
just have to be careful with the way
Yeah.
that the question is worded, I guess.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes, yes. Yeah, yeah. Thank you. Thank you for
Yeah,
asking
sure.
this question. Yeah, yeah. Well, you know, the thing is, I was doing it as an example. So, but thank you for this question. And this is how we, like, you know, when we get feedback from our students or from the attendees, we change the polling questions, and we sort of, you know, develop whatever the quizzes, the curriculum, and things of the sort. Yeah. Okay, I hear some people typing. Right, none or other. Okay. Yeah, I haven't tried that. None or other. Yeah, yeah, sure. Okay. Now, so any questions so far regarding the polling? Okay, can I consider this as no? Okay, so I'm gonna put you now in breakout rooms just to show you how it works, okay? And then I'm gonna hop in some of the rooms just to show you as a teacher, you can also join those breakout rooms and talk with your students. So I'm gonna go ahead now and assign rooms. So I'm gonna make like let's say 5 rooms, and I'm gonna create the room right now. So you will get a message that will ask you to join the room. And I'm gonna leave you for like 2 minutes, and then I'm gonna put you back.
Hi, guys. Do you want to turn on your microphones or cameras?
Hi,
How are you?
great. How are you?
Good. I'm just a co-presenter here. But have you guys done breakout rooms before?
Move this so I can be. No, I've actually never used a breakout room. I've used Zoom a couple times to teach the past. Hi.
Hi.
But yeah, I've never used a breakout room. Oh, so the teacher can jump into the breakout room.
Yes, yeah, the teacher can jump in. Yeah.
Yay, that's what I was hoping.
I'm gonna jump out right now.
Of course, yeah.
Yeah. Oh,
That's so great. Okay, cool.
I think I can too as a co-presenter. But let's see.
yeah.
Okay, so Amany just left.
Okay.
Something I found for folks. So you said, Camille, that you've tried them before?
I've not tried a breakout room. I've just used Zoom in general, but I've not used the breakout room. So I'm really anxious to try it out, and it's really cool to see it because I've not even done it before. So.
And how big is your class? Because something I found is that the delay is a little bit longer when you have a larger group. I did a PD where I was trying to manually assign about 60 teachers, and I found that really nerve-wracking.
Okay.
So if you're gonna,
so it's not probably recommended for a large group then.
I think it's just something to be aware of. I think it's always unpredictable. So I like the way Amany said, like, okay, I'll be back with you in 2 minutes, because the first time I've done them with groups, there's always one person who thinks the call has dropped because you don't see anything for a minute. And then they kind of get free. And it's the same thing when we come back out. Let's kind of see what the timing is like here. I don't know if there's, I saw when you assign them, it does a countdown of 1 minute, and it's kind of the longest minute because, you don't see anything, and it actually does a countdown for the presenter.
Okay. Now, a colleague of mine had told me that you could set a timer so that your students in the breakout rooms knew that they only had like 10 minutes to be together. Is she gonna maybe go over that? I don't want you to have to like repeat, or maybe she's gonna go over that when we're
She
back
should do,
together.
but if not, I can kind of add some things. Yes, there's a timer, and there's also a question that you can have appear on the screen.
Great.
So that's really good. The things that I've seen people get caught up with, just kind of like realize, is you can't screen share, or you can, I can jump in, like I could share my screen with you now as the teacher or the co-host.
Okay.
But I've seen teachers want to do like games, and then the students can't, once the teacher, like if the teacher wanted to leave, okay, here's the instructions, but you can't, even though the one that you give and say, like, talk about this topic will disappear after a certain point. Let's see if Amany shows us that. So you'd want to give your students the materials beforehand, like, okay, this is the handout, or make it, depending on how long the activity is. So that was a hiccup that I found, that I thought that I could leave something with them, but that's not the case unless you're in that group. But then why would you do a breakout room?
Right. That's really good to know. Thank you for mentioning that.
Sure. How about others? Angela, and I'm not trying to say the other person's name. Okay. So I think it's interesting, like when you compare the different software, I don't think there's breakout rooms in Google Meet, for instance. And so it's kind of a reason to use Zoom. But I do think what's hard about them is you can't really pre-practice. Like I have several accounts and I've tried to do it, but it's still always different when you go live.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, is this a feature, because I've been using like the free version. Can you do breakout rooms in the free version, or do you have to have like the actual account?
It's interesting because I have a free account and it works, but then I also have another account with a high school, and so the high school one doesn't work, and it's been really frustrating the teachers. And I think it's more the way that the IT person has set that up, and they haven't been able to do them.
Okay, so it will probably work with a free account. Okay.
So it probably will, but if you can't find it, don't think you're going crazy. You may need another account. So it should be readily in your settings. And perhaps, I know that Amany is going to give a poll. I have some screenshots about what it should look like, and even the, assigning rooms. So the assigning rooms, another hiccup of that, because sometimes you want to do like reading groups. I don't know what grade you teach, but you have a specific group that's been working together and you want to do that. If you have all their emails, you can do it. But again, like leave yourself some wiggle room the very first time, because sometimes people switch accounts just like I did, right? And they don't even realize it, like they're on their phone versus, I don't know. What grade are you teaching?
I actually teach for a grant-funded program. So I teach immigrants in the community. So they're all adults, and I happen to have a basic level English class.
Okay.
So, the number of students I have varies week to week, even when we're meeting in person. I can have upwards of 50 students in person. The next week I could have 35. When I first started with Zoom, I had 26 the first week. The next week I only had 14. So it's a very big range of numbers, but it's definitely been lower since we've moved online. So, and it's different students every week. So.
Yeah. So I guess if I had to do over the bloopers that I went through, I would first do random, because that's fairly easy. Like she just did random, and that won't, except for the like pre-warning that like you're gonna be, there might be, your screen might blink. Don't get scared, like we're coming back. Don't leave the call. And then, see how they like it and do a slower build. My mistake was that I really wanted to assign.
Okay.
And it fell apart. So
breakout rooms will close in 58 seconds. Oh, that's really cool. Now I have a really quick question, if you don't mind. If a student leaves their breakout room, because I see here I have that option, and they leave it, will I like find them somewhere floating around?
Hopefully they're still in the main session, but I think that there is some uncertainty. So they might accidentally leave and not
Okay.
know where they're going. I mean, we could try it ourselves, but I think that it will drop you from the call.
Oh, okay.
Mm.
Oh,
So you see, you only have like two options, right? We all
Right.
see something that says return to the main the main session or leave. I think leave will mean that we end the call.
okay. So I'm
And
not gonna
return
try
to the
that.
session. So it's a little bit confusing, right? So I'm
Right.
going to press the return to the main session button.
Okay.
But I suppose if
Sounds-
you do get dropped, I'll look for you.
Here. So current slide. Okay, so the breakout rooms, it's much easier than the polling. Okay, so you go to settings, enable breakout rooms, start meeting, and then you click on assign breakout, okay? Breakout rooms for your students. So, so you go to settings, so that's under setting, you click on setting, and then under in meeting advanced, you will see breakout room. So you click the slider to the right in order to enable the breakout rooms, okay? And I sometimes click this to allow host assign participants to breakout rooms when scheduling, you know, because sometimes, like 2 days ago, I assigned 2 students in each room, and I had 1 student who just left without any reason, left Zoom with no reason, and so I had to move that the student who remained in the room to another group. Okay, so you can also do it manually. So once you enable this and you start the session, you will find this. Sometimes you may not find it. You know these 3 dots? You will find 3 dots. You just click on them, and then you will find breakout rooms. So if you didn't find this icon, no problem. On your interface, you will find 3 dots where you look for the chat sometimes, or you look for other options. You will find breakout rooms, and then you click on it, and then you will start doing this. So this was what's you're gonna see. Assign 3 participants in 2 rooms, or so let's say we have 20 participants. Like today we have 17 participants. So I assigned you in 5 rooms. Okay, so it depends. So Zoom will know how many people in your session. Okay, and then it will ask you how many people you need to assign in each room, and you're going to do it automatically, and then it will tell you. So it's between, and that's what I got today. It's between 3 and 4 participants per breakout room. Okay, any questions so far?
We have a great question, actually.
Yeah.
How do you import student roster into the breakout room so that you can pre-assign students?
Oh, so actually that's basically before, you know, so okay. So let me show you. I think, yeah, I think it's when you schedule the meeting. Yeah.
And just as Amany is looking for that to show you, I want to say I had an experience where I had to sort teachers, 60 teachers during a PD. And so from my experience, I would say make sure that your students' emails are the ones that they sign in. So what commonly I've seen happen is that maybe someone's having computer problems or something like that, and I'll see instead of their name, I'll see like Christine's iPhone or iPad. So while you can pre-assign, especially using emails, that's just something that can be a little bit jarring the first time you do them.
Yeah. Not sure.
I believe there's going to be a place where you can upload
Yeah.
a CVC file, which is basically
Yes.
a setting of an Excel, and then you can put in your roster. But you just have to make sure that check your Zoom. Like it's pretty easy if you're at like a university to say, okay, everyone has the same email, and so you're kind of like a school, and then you can see the people, and it's easier to invite them. In my experience, when I did it, that wasn't the case. I was trying to take the people live and put them in, and not everybody had a clear label. And even if they tried to change their label, like you see how Amany just has her first name, the participants, it doesn't seem to record. So if there were 2 Amanys in the class and then she was trying to quickly rename herself, which you can do, the breakout feature won't pick up that change on the fly. So even if you did say, okay, who is iPad number 3? And then they quickly wrote, oh, it's me, Christine. In my experience, the system won't quickly catch up with it. So I'll just say that from my experience, I would first experiment with the random ones. And then when you see that your students are regular and you can depend on their screen names, you might try to do something a little bit more assigned. But at least the initial one, my recommendation and experience would be to first do random. But I'll shut up now. There it is.
Yeah. So while you're scheduling your meeting, you go down here, meeting options, and then you check breakout room pre-assign, and then you import from CSV, and then you also can create the rooms and assign students beforehand. So this is how it works. Oh, sorry. Okay. Any other questions? CSV, it's like an Excel sheet, and then you save it with extension .csv.
Right, so in Excel, there will be a save as feature.
Yeah.
If that's what you're using.
Yeah. So maybe let me, I don't know how, like I can show you this. So if I open Excel, I'm gonna just write anything here. Okay, and then file, save as. And then CSV. Okay, CSV MS-DOS. So you save it as a CSV file, and then you save it, and then you can upload it to Zoom. Okay. Just wanna minimize this. Okay, so once you assign the students to breakout rooms, that shows current slide. So this is what the students will receive. The host is inviting you to join breakout rooms, breakout room 1, and you have to tell them that before assigning them that you're gonna get a message. You have to join. You have to click join, because some of them actually they don't, and they are like confused. So we tell them beforehand that I'm gonna put you in breakout rooms, and then you're gonna do this exercise, and you will receive a message, and you have to click join. Okay, so you can join rooms, and So you as a teacher can join rooms like I did with you, and then leave the students and join others. So here you will find this, okay? Breakout session 1, you click join, and then you join, and then you will find in the Zoom controls, you will find leave breakout room, okay? So you leave it and you go to the main session, and then you will find the same window, and then you can join the other breakout session, okay? So it's so easy. Yeah, sometimes or like I don't want to say some. So sometimes students need to ask for help. So actually on your screen you will find help. So this will send a message to the teacher that they need help, and then you will just click join breakout room, and you will go there, see what, like, you know, give them feedback, see what are the questions or what are their questions, and then you can just leave and go back to the main session, go to other sessions, and so on, okay? You can also, as I told one of the groups that I put in breakout rooms, you can also broadcast messages to all. So yeah, so you click here, and then a small window will appear, and then you can start typing the message to everyone. So for example, maybe you have assigned them to write or to work on grammar exercises, and then you tell them, okay, so now 3 minutes left for doing the second exercise, and so on and so forth. Okay. You can also move students from one room to another. So basically here, if you can see here, so once you hover the mouse over the name of the student, it will show move to, and then you can move the student from breakout room 1 or 2 or 3 or whatever, okay? So, you know, you can move students from one room to another. Okay, and then I think this what happened when I closed all the rooms. So breakout rooms will close in 27 seconds. So you can either just return to the main session without even waiting for, you know, for the 27 seconds. Sometimes if the students are engaged, actually they just wait until it ends, and then they automatically move back to the main session. Okay, so any questions? Oh.
Amany, we had a question in my breakout room. We noticed that there were 2 buttons that the students could choose between. One says return to the breakout session, and one says leave. Does that make sense?
Sorry, can you repeat that again? I have an internet problem, so.
Okay, so something we noticed is that you have 2 buttons inside as a student. And tell me if you guys noticed this too. And so one button said return to the session, and one button said leave. And I believe that that means leave the call completely. And so you might want to tell them in the breakout session to go to the
main, yeah. So yeah, because you have the liberty to leave the whole thing, okay, or leave the room, okay? Like I told you, like I had the 2 students in one room, and one of the students actually left the Zoom meeting. So I had to, so I think she clicked on leave meeting, okay, not leave the room, because I had also some students leaving the rooms and going back to the main session. And then I asked them to go back. I told them, please go back to your breakout rooms. Maybe they clicked on it by accident, but so yeah, you can leave the whole thing, the whole meeting or the whole online classroom as a student, or you can leave the room itself and go back to the main session.
Okay, and one other question we're getting is what happens with the chat, so the work students do in the breakout rooms when they come back into the main room? Are they erased?
I think, yeah, they are erased.
I could tell you in this chat that we don't see any record of those. If the students are hip to it, they can download and save it, just like you can now. In our chat box, there's 3 little dots, and you can see that you have an option that says save chats at the end of a session. Another thing that I've noticed is that if you want to, some teachers get frustrated because they want to have something posted like a share screen in the breakout rooms, and you cannot share a screen in the breakout room. So say you're preparing a PowerPoint and you want to have your PowerPoint shared with each of the breakout rooms, you can't really give them anything to see on their screen. And so some teachers don't love that.
Mm. Yeah, that's true. So
I think those were all the questions, but please type in your questions or just ask them about breakout rooms.
Yeah, so are there any questions so far? I think I'm gonna, so guys, if you would like to join Nice TESOL, you can go ahead. I'm just sharing the code, and also if you would like CTLE certificates. Okay.
Can we save chat somewhere other than what you just said? Does the chat room work with a jigsaw reading?
Oh, that's interesting. Oh. I think if the students can save the chat, I myself, when I go for events on Second Life or other events, I just I save the chat, and I also take a copy of everything, and then I put it on a Word file. So maybe this is what the students can do. They can save it, or also they can copy and paste it on a Word file so that they can have everything handy, and then they can share it with the teacher.
I think the question that really happens is what is the tech literacy of our students? So maybe a tip that we're getting is that we shouldn't assume that they understand that they can save or that they can't save, and that we should
provide with other alternatives for them. Yeah,
totally. These are great questions.
Yeah.
So I think I think for sure it could work with a jigsaw reading. You just have to go in knowing that the first time is going to be a little bit bumpy. Wouldn't you say, Amany? What's your experience with the breakout rooms?
Well, with the breakout rooms, my students don't use the chat actually, because I just don't want them to write something, and so I just want them to write something that they can like on a Word file. Actually, we work on a Blackboard, so while I'm teaching via Zoom, they are doing something. So we do a discussion board on Blackboard. So I post the questions, and then they do it on Blackboard. I don't use the chat.
So Sarah, do you want to say more about your question? I took it as that you were asking about breakout rooms and chat, but I think maybe I mistook that. So do you want to clarify? Do you mean just in a group situation?
Yeah, sure. I wasn't thinking so much about the chat as much as like, what if there were 3 groups and each of them were given something to read, and then everyone from one group shares it with the other groups, so that all 3 groups end up with all the information at the end, but it's been shared, so it would entail switching the groups twice.
Well, I think you'd have to be a bit of a DJ, because in that case, you're definitely being precise about who's in each group. And so I think it can happen, but give yourself some lag time, like have a piece of paper. What I did what I have tried to do, but it goes a little bit bumpy because you have to keep your cool. It depends how big the group is. So I'll have like a list of my groups, and then I'll do the switch. But that switch, the assigning to different, you can pre-assign, as Ching Ching asked, right? And so hopefully that goes well, where you put them in the particular groups. But now, like maybe 5 minutes has passed and you want to switch up the groups again, I'm pretty certain that you can only program the it once. Like you can pre-assign once, but then on the fly, you're gonna have to do those jigsaw rooms. But if anybody else has another idea, that would be my sense, in that you have to manually do it. So just give them like something to think about for like a minute or two and tell them not to leave. Right?
Well, so you could switch groups twice.
Yeah,
theoretically.
you can switch groups. Like so
Yeah.
if there is group 1, for example, paragraph 1, and group 2, paragraph 2, and group 3, and so on, and then you need to switch people. So you can just hover the mouse over the name of the students that you want to move, and then you can move them to other rooms, and then you can switch others to. So you can. The students in room 5 or 4 can go to 1, and the other student can go to 4, and you know, and so on. It
Exactly.
will take a little, it will take some time, but it's doable.
Thank
you can
you.
even
But
rename the groups.
Did you also say? Oh, I'm sorry.
You
Did
can
you also
name
say
it
that
like,
you? Okay. I'm sorry. Did you also say then that you can't have a different screen up for the different groups? Like if you wanted to give the different groups different assignments, it would somehow have to be presented in a different way, that you would be unable to show a different screen to the different groups. Is that right?
that's right, unless you bring it in, but as soon as you leave the room, they lose the share screen.
Mm-hmm. But each one could have a different one at the start, perhaps, or no?
No, I don't think so.
Okay,
The
thank you. I
teacher's
really
always
appreciate.
showing the piece of paper. The only thing in my experience, what I've seen is that then if you have the tech skills, you would like, I would be a facilitator in the group, and I would have to make me a co-host, and then Amany would have to be a co-host, and then that group can act kind of independently. But your students would have to have the tech skills that, okay, Christine, in this group, your role is going to be to share the screen. Does that make sense?
Yeah. So someone asked a question about walking them through a save elsewhere option. Is that for Excel? On a Word doc? It's not going to accept a Word doc. It's going to accept a CSV file. So is that your question, Elizabeth? Is that what you want, the Excel? Okay, so in order to pre-assign your students, you can put their emails on an Excel sheet, and then you save it as a CSV file. So you hit save, and then save as, and then let me put the chat box away, and then you click here, save as type, and then if you have like, you know, PC, so it's a CSV. If it's a Macintosh, it's a CSV Macintosh. Okay, you click on that, and then you hit save, and then you save it on a desktop, on the documents, whatever, and then you upload it from Zoom. I hope I answered your question. So any questions so far? So thank you everyone for joining today. I really enjoyed, discussing the Zoom breakout rooms and polling with you all. And, you know, I really enjoyed you asking great questions today. Thank you, Camille. Thank you. Thank you, Hauji. Thank you, Christine and Tila. So if you have any questions, don't hesitate to ask. Thank you, Emily. Thank you, Bennett.
Thank you, Amany.
Thank you.
It's
Thank
wonderful.
you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Okay. Okay.